rocking. I try to let a few doors walk, but if that freezer runs low, I gotta stock it. These scrub bucks got no mask, darn sure no drop times, but this chili has deer burger in it tonight.
Where did this podcast go? Straight to hell. Yeah, speaking of hell, check out East Coast Bowhunting Podcast.
We keep it real on the East Coast.
First of all, I'm addicted to the show.
I like that. That's cool. Okay.
Whole hunt, you live it, you breathe it. It's a whole different world. This East Coast has a little bit more of an edge and a grind to it. It's fantastic.
You guys are fucking awesome.
I want to feel like I'm just hanging with the boys.
But I actually saw Jesus.
The point where it is now, where it's insane. Let's get the fuck out of here. I just want to get the realest people possible in the industry. You know, if you're not pissing people off, you're not doing it right.
Welcome back to the East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. We are here in Mohegan Sun Casino at the 2019 Connecticut Outdoor Expo. And we're brought to you by Shabeen Brewing. Shabeen. 100 Demons. Ethics Archery. Use promo code East Coast 10. Trev's Euros. Nor'easter Game Calls. Look out for the ECB Blood Series Turkey Pot Call coming soon. Wild Edge Inc., the leader in mobile hunting. And we are presented by Working Class Bowhunter. Not just a podcast, but the brand in the hunting industry. And today we're joined by Anthony DiQuinzio and Anthony Bambache. Bambache?
Correct.
Awesome. Awesome. Out of Weschester County Bowhunters Association. Welcome to the podcast, boys.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Oh, thank you guys for coming down all the way from New York.
Yeah, Weschester.
Yes, that's badass. Thank you for coming down the show. What do you think about the show?
That's absolutely amazing. You know, what you guys speak about, safety, hunter recruitment, couldn't be any more happier to be here on the show today.
That's awesome. It's awesome. You know what? Let's cut into it. DiQuinzio. I'm not going to say Anthony because we got Tony and Tony.
Okay.
DiQuinzio, you reached out on social media.
Yep.
I believe it was officially CT Bowhunting app
Yes.
initially.
Yes.
And you expressed that, you know, that I appreciate all the kind words you said. You expressed that we're doing the right thing, doing the good job, have a good mission, and you guys are on a similar path out of your group. So let's lay into it. We'll start with you, DiQuinzio. Who are you? Where you from? And where can we find you?
So, basically,
Sorry.
well, can I actually do that too?
Yeah,
do
it.
Please do.
Do it up. Shabeen.
Nice.
Welcome. Which one you got there? Which beer you guys got there? Tony and Tony.
The Baby Seal Slumber Party.
Hell yeah.
Pretty manly.
It tastes good though, don't it?
Yeah, no, it's good.
Trev, what you rocking over there?
What do you think I'm rocking?
Smoothie shop.
I got the smoothie shop.
Not the candy shop, it's the smoothie shop. He ain't window shopping, he's drinking that shit. I got the Simply beer right here. Nice good old beer Pilsner. Thank you, Shabeen.
Just a simple beer, but it's good.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, there you go.
So basically, I reached out to Trevor first, who never got back to me.
Hey,
so.
Call him out.
Fuck.
Lay him down.
I did, but it was way too late.
Yeah, that's all right.
So what happened actually, in all actuality, is
Here
that
comes the excuse.
No, what happened was the app for CT Bowhunting was down, so I didn't have it on my phone, and I don't log in other than the app, which actually being part owner of it, I probably should have, but I've just been slacking and just putting my focus on the podcast. So.
And that's where D-Rock picks up the slack.
Exactly.
What happened next? Please tell your story.
But then again, in your defense, though, it was around the end of the season, so it was kind of like you went into that depression mode.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
Well. Yeah. But yeah, so I've been a CT Bowhunting member for maybe however long you took it over, because it was before you as well, correct?
No, I started it originally with Jeff, and then Jeff moved off to California to deal with business and family, and then I just took on to it full time, and so it was about that time, probably a year ago, 2 years ago, anyways.
Yeah, about that. And I had seen you post something about the podcast, and I started listening to it, the first few episodes, and was like, wow, you guys are down to earth. kind of had the same vision that our group, Weschester Bowhunters, has. And it would be awesome to just come on, so I had reached out. And D-Rock was nice enough to also do the same, and through Instagram and whatnot, which we kind of got to talking and agreed upon a location, which is here today.
Awesome.
And, so Westchester County Bowhunters is the longest, oldest group in Westchester County for Bowhunters. It's basically something to improve and empower bowhunting in the county of Westchester for the most part. It started off a long time ago and kind of has evolved along the way. We're the newest board members. I'm 29. I think you're, 26 or 25?
That's correct.
26.
That's awesome.
And we're trying to bring it into the 21st century. So when I first listened to you guys, I was like, wow, we kind of have the same ideas, safety, hunter recruitment, bringing new people into it, because as we know, hunter recruitment is kind of dwindling. And I was fortunate enough to grow up in, the world of bow hunting. My grandfather was a hunter. My dad was a hunter. And
So you came out the belly shooting arrows.
Actually, when I was born, right when my dad found out I was a boy, he went out and got me a little camo onesie.
Really?
Like 29 years ago, yeah.
That's badass.
And I think that was like the first thing that I wore or something. So yeah.
You started hunting as a sperm, as Bill Hall was saying.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, I just feel bad for like the younger kids who sit inside all day and just play video games and don't know what it's like to watch a sunrise or something like that. So
or freeze your ass off.
Yeah, or that as well.
Well, late season, yeah.
I say that all the time. Like, if I grew up in a different area, like, I would miss out on all the things that I do on the day-to-day. Watching the sunrises, watching the woods come alive and all that. Like, what would I do if I lived in the city? I wouldn't be able to do this. And, like, how did those people not do this? I don't
exactly.
Get it. I just doesn't click in my head.
Not at all. I'm totally not a city person. I probably go there 3 or 4 times a year, and I just not because my choice. But yeah, it's where we are in Westchester is the suburbs. Mm-hmm. So I actually started out hunting in Fairfield County in Connecticut when I was 12, and because New York doesn't open until you're 14, so I kind of got my roots going in Connecticut. So
that's awesome.
And obviously still hunt there to this day. So. It's Fairfield County is basically the same as Westchester, where you're just hunting small, little, tiny woodlots. You can see guys cutting grass and little kids playing soccer in the backyard or something.
You still have Wi-Fi capability.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, in some areas, I don't even have service, but
and you can bait in the Fairfield County.
You can, yes,
and it's an extra month.
Does up here open September 15th?
September 15th to December 31st.
Yeah, so we're open until January.
For state land, and we go all the way to the end of January for the baiting zones.
Yeah, but he's talking about the Fairfield County.
Right, Zone 11 and 12. That's where I am.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool. What GPS coordinates?
Actually, he doesn't even know, so I'm not telling you.
Somewhere around, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. It's worth a shot. It's worth a shot.
No, I do that all the time. Yeah, you have to.
That's funny. So Tony 2, is it okay to call you Tony 2?
Tony 2 is fine.
He was first.
Bambache. That's better. So explain a little more about the group and the mission of it and where your diligence as a team comes from, because you guys are young boys, but at the same time you guys got your head on straight and you're again representing the 21st century correct.
Hey, watch yourself. I'm 28, he's 29, so what are you calling me?
Well, you're just a lad. Age ain't nothing compared to mentality.
So first of all, Anthony brought me into Weschester County Bowhunters 5 years ago. I've only been bowhunting, this is going to be year 7 for me.
Nice.
It kind of started as a challenge from a friend who was like, you won't go buy a bow and you won't shoot a deer. And I said, bullshit. And so I went and bought myself a Hoyt. Day
I'm
2.
Sorry.
No. we're Team Elite over here.
No, see, I moved to Team Matthews since then. But the Hoyt treated me well. And day 2, out, October 2nd, shot my first deer, and I was hooked since. I went through my college days. I learned a lot in college, and
A lot?
a lot. Especially about deer. I went and held a 2-year research thesis on red oak mast and the relationship between deer activity.
Oh, that's dope.
And then I applied that to now become a deer manager in Weschester County at Anglefly Preserve. It's a 600-acre preserve where we provide the opportunity for others to hunt.
That's sick.
Yeah. So 5 years ago, he brought me into this group, and I sat there and I kind of was just like spinning and like what we could do with it. And then they asked for board members, and I raised my hand. And like, what can you bring to the table? And I gave him my background and whatnot. And then I brought Anthony on as a board member after, which is kind of funny because he brought me into the group.
Yeah.
And then I went first, so I'd be a board member, and then I brought him on.
Hey, one hand washes the other. That's the way it is.
That's it. So our goal is to really provide, like he was saying, to those young kids who don't know, who are stuck in the iPad, who are stuck in the iPhones, who don't get outside, who can't, whose parents are afraid to even let them go play ball on the street. And, that's what we want to get to. And we're trying to find a way to build the stairways to allow you get into a stand and get into the woods.
Stairways to God's heaven.
That's it. That's right.
The mountains of
20
God's
feet
heaven.
closer to God.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Which, shout out to you guys, too, for the tree stand safety stuff. I was telling Anthony as well, I think that's such an awesome thing that you guys do.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks,
We
man.
were talking about that on the way up here. He said that he originally didn't have a harness when he first started hunting.
I didn't even use one.
I don't even...
A lot of
Actually.
people, to this day, a lot of people don't.
And I don't know anything but, like, I get up my 25, 30 feet, and I'm, like, hanging onto the tree trying to hook my, my prusset knot onto my hook.
Yeah.
I use my system of the tree spider from
Yep.
ScentLock.
Yep. Okay.
And I think it's the best system in the world.
Awesome.
Speak to credit to them. Is I find it so comfortable and safe and easy, accessible.
Now, you not to get off subject, you guys use climbers or sticks, hang-ons, ladder stands?
What do you
Everything.
want?
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
Any
Just
way
hunt.
to shoot a deer is how you do it.
You guys using steps yet or no?
Yeah, so
Wild Edge steps?
I just bought an XOP
Okay.
with climbing sticks.
Okay.
I used it at the end of the year. I love it. I think it's the greatest addition to my arsenal because I can get in those trees that I couldn't get in with my Summit Climber.
Oh, wait. You need to check out the Wild Edge step ladder. It is out of this world. Have you guys seen it?
No.
Heard about it?
No.
All right. So
that's one of our newest sponsors, Wild Edge Inc. But it's owned by Drew Walter. He's a.k.a. Boneyard. If you listen to our episodes, Boneyard, that's him.
Okay.
Absolute savage. Absolute killer. Trev, go ahead.
So this step is actually one of the easiest things you could possibly use. So what it is it's in a V shape with two prongs that come off the top of it with a bar across it. And what it is a rope that goes around, and the rope goes around and you tie it in a knot. You push it up and canter it over, and it locks in. You can get up in a matter of a couple of minutes once you figure out the knot and how to do it and so on and so forth. And you can visually, there's pictures on some of them that the trees are in like these crazy S's and stuff. You can get up any tree,
Yeah.
which the sticks will not get you up like that. And they're actually a little bit more dangerous when they're going up it. But the steps, they just lock in. And once they're in, dude. And you can just about get in anything or anywhere you possibly can get into.
Is it like 4 steps, or is it like a series of like 16 steps?
So, like, you have different ones. You can start, there's like a 5 set, and they use like different rope systems to get from step to step. Or you can actually, they have 5, 8, 10, and 16. And like you guys being younger, you can pull yourself up on the steps and get even higher up on the tree. But it definitely sets the bar as to mobile hunting, and you're picking your area, not your tree. Like, I'm a big time climber hunter, and it definitely sets it above the rest.
We all are. Yeah. We just climb, and we're definitely making the transition to saddle hunting too. Because, like you said,
saddle hunting is something that I've learned from. I don't know if you mind me throwing out.
No, go ahead.
Like Mark Kenyon, from Wired to Hunt. who
Yeah.
I listen to religiously too, and he brought it up, and I was like, oh my god, get a lineman's belt and a saddle and a little platform. Mm-hmm. And you can basically be anywhere.
Mm-hmm. A little teaser. You will hear Wild Edge Inc. on Wired to Hunt soon.
Wow.
Right.
With Mark Kenyon.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's set up yours truly. So that's going to happen. That's happening.
Oh my
too.
God.
Yep.
I just got the chills.
Yeah. Dude, he's the real deal, and is established, and he believes in the Wild Edge Inc. step. So that's something to be said right there. Absolute killer, and he's switching to mobile hunting 100%. And another little teaser, Wild Edge Inc. is working on a huge, huge project that's just going to change the industry, and no one's going to touch it. No one.
Oh God!
No one in the
Whoa.
no one in the saddle
So you're
industry.
telling me I got to spend more money?
Yeah.
It's going to be very affordable, but I'm telling you, that's all I can say, though. That's
Okay.
all I can say.
All right. Now you get...
You'll see.
I got
the
to
Stay
record, we'll
tuned.
talk.
Yeah,
Excited,
yeah,
excited.
yeah. You got that. You got that. One more Shabine and off the record
Yeah.
after we hit stop.
Anything's possible with Shabine.
That's cool, man. So, let's get off business for a little bit and let's get to know you guys as individuals. DiQuinzio, start us off. Who got you in the woods, man?
So, how long do we have? Because it's going to take a while.
As long as you want, man. As long as we're here all weekend.
Yeah.
All right. So,
I can hang out with you.
So basically, just my dad introduced me to hunting when I was 12. So 29 minus 12, long time ago, 17 years ago.
Yeah.
I hunted Connecticut, mostly Fairfield County, and he just brought me up into this lifestyle. It took me 6 years to shoot my first deer.
Okay.
And
You're a
when
man for saying that because most won't.
yeah,
You know
no,
what I'm saying? And that's
Straight up badass.
That's
Yeah, it took
awesome.
took me a long time.
You know what?
And-
Sometimes that's what it takes, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
it's not an easy thing too, and people kind of like take that kind of for granted because people don't. I know plenty of people that have hunted for 10 years and never gotten an encounter close enough with the bow, and it's something that it goes to show for somebody that to admit that it took that long to shoot their first deer it goes miles.
And on the same retrospect, there's people that just get lucky. I mean, I've only been hunting deer for 2 years, and I'm telling you, I got spoiled my first year. I got really lucky. I don't want to get into numbers and all, but this second past year was very humbling because it really showed how hard it really is. I still attribute it to a successful year, but it definitely opened up to my eyes. It's like, wow, this is a lot harder than what I originally thought.
Yeah.
So let's get back to it, man.
Yeah, so it took me 6 years to shoot my first deer. I shot my first buck in Fairfield County. Not to...
With a bow, or?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, with the bow.
Awesome.
I've only hunted with the bow. I hunted once with the shotgun, just didn't feel right. So I only bow hunt. But when I shot my first buck, I call it the downfall. It ruined the rest of my life because it was like, oh my God, it was the greatest feeling in the world, you know? And hunting these small woodlots, the deer ended up running like over a river and into this other property, and I had to kind of sneak around and go get it, and but it was just the greatest feeling I think I've ever felt. And just from there I've evolved. I just started learning and listening to podcasts and whatnot, and it's become a passion of mine. I'm in the woods as much as possible, and I feel bad for those who don't know what it's like to sit in a tree 20 feet up and just watch the sunrise, or just watch them in general. It's
Woods therapy.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just being immersed in nature. I always say shooting a deer is the cherry on top. Everything else is
Amen.
amazing just in itself. So,
Amen, man.
Yeah.
Bambache.
What do you want?
Same. The same. You enjoying
Same
that
for-
beer? Beer's good?
Oh, my God. It's amazing.
Awesome.
Shiban?
Shabine.
Shabin?
Yeah.
Shiban.
Shibin?
Shabine.
Shabin.
Say it
Yes.
like that.
What?
Shabine.
Shabin.
Yeah. So let's get your background story. Who got you in the woods?
So like I said earlier, that it was kind of a challenge. I had a couple uncles who hunted, but they never kind of really even gave me the chance to hunt with them. I don't know if it was just my attitude. I don't know if I was involved in like the baseball aspect and the wrestling aspect and just playing my sports throughout high school and whatnot. So in college, again, my friends were like kind of getting into it. I'll throw out to Johnny Boy and Mike Moe. Those are two of the boys. They're the first ones to kind of hunt in the group.
Cool.
And then they're like, no, you won't do this. And I said, BS. And I went on and...
You can say bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit.
There you go. There you go. Now you're letting loose.
And like I said, I went out day one, sat in a tree all day. All I saw was a river otter, which is crazy because I was sitting on a river. Like, you you don't think like most people don't even see river otters in their lifetime in the
Right.
wild, and that's what I saw my one day out hunting. So I was like, okay, cool.
Fucking badass.
My first
Yeah.
day, I was like in the tree, like I don't know, like 3 hours before sunrise, something like that,
Yeah, yeah.
something ridiculous. And then day 2, I went out and just happened to have a doe walk by, and put an ethical shot on her, and it was just a hook kind of thing. And it's such a different kind of aspect. It's like it took Anthony over here 6 years, yet it took me 48 hours
Right.
What are
to
you
get
saying?
the same.
That he got lucky.
Yeah,
is
I
what
he
he's
got
saying. He
very lucky.
lucky.
Exactly.
That,
So,
that's what I was referring to because I got very lucky last year.
yeah.
And you're going to learn because, I mean, you've been doing it 7 years now.
Yeah, I learned.
Bow hunting.
I've taken
Bow hunting,
Bow
7
hunting.
years, right?
Yes, bow hunting.
I've been bow hunting all my life and deer just the past couple of years, and I got lucky, man.
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes you just when we live in these areas where there's populations are decently high. We think Weschester is actually on the decline. That's a topic for another day.
Well, what do you think that is, though? Because the amount of hunters in that area, or
Well, yes. So we're kind of combating an issue right now with the elimination of deer in Westchester County. We think that county legislators and the general public doesn't like deer due to, I don't know if they want them because of the car accidents or they want them because of the amount of damage they do to the property, gardens and whatnot, or people just don't like them, maybe Lyme disease. These are all huge issues that, people come to county legislators with, and we're like, we want them gone.
right?
So, like, D.C. is doing some kind of allowing permits in areas to allow them to bait at night with crossbows. This is all happening in Westchester County.
Okay.
And those are the kind of the issues that Westchester County Bowhunters is that we're taking on tenfold and going to combat, because why can't us as bowhunters
Contribute to that cause.
contribute, maybe open up the season like Connecticut has, versus October 1st to December 31st.
Exactly.
And, yeah, so that's kind of that's one of our main focuses right now that we're working on.
Awesome.
Yeah, over 7 years, though, I've been blessed enough to keep growing exponentially every year, learning from podcasts like this, and yeah, that's what I got. So
Awesome. No, that's cool. That's cool, man.
this whole thing is talking in my own ears. It's a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
weird,
No,
little weird. I'm trying.
You
to
weren't
like,
expecting it today.
Yeah, I know.
No,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
at all.
Just
Not
meeting
at
up
all.
with the guy.
Trying to
All
get
right,
used to
let's
it.
podcast.
Hey, what's going on? All right, let's do it. Sit down.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
like, what? I'm like, don't worry. There's Shabeen.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Shabeen. Made it all worth it.
So, who got you guys into the Westchester County Bowhunters Association?
Anthony can speak to that.
Yeah, let's hear from DiQuinzio.
I would say my father's been a member for a long time. And so he kind of just one day bought a membership for me. And most of my friends, I would say, they're not like sick about hunting as much as he is.
Okay.
So I invited him to come to one of the meetings. And, after that, we just started going to the meetings and whatnot. And we kind of saw how the direction of the group was going and decided to take a proactive stance and try and make it more fun. And we're trying a lot of new things. We have a shed hunting contest coming up.
You want Moose Man on your team?
Moose Man. Yeah.
On my
Yeah.
team, yes, I do. Yeah,
I get him. I get first draft pick.
heads. We'll flip a coin.
Heads or tails.
But yeah. Well, actually, I don't know. I think I do pretty well for myself.
He's
Yeah?
a savage. I can't find I found a couple sheds in my lifetime, but he's just a savage, sick, different
Yeah.
individual.
These aren't the most impressive sheds at all, but to find these as a set,
The spike match set is incredible.
that's Trev right there.
Yeah,
that's Trev.
It's amazing.
So I actually found a button buck shed one day. It was literally like that big,
Like a
And
tooth.
It looked like a quarter.
Yeah.
It was like the most insane thing that
Bo-
I've ever found.
Boneyard did the same thing.
Yeah.
And you have to have an eye for that.
Well, actually, it was in snow, so it was a little easier to to find. But it was I've never seen anything like I didn't. Never
you
seen
would
it
never even
before.
think it. You know, you said,
Yeah, that's
whoa,
cool.
what the hell is this? You pick it up and play with it. You think it's a rock, and then, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Button buck shed.
Incredible.
Yep. So I would say, but I always say a shed's a shed. So no matter if it's a spike or a half of a 10-pointer, it doesn't matter. It's a shed.
Well, that's the beauty of it. Is like when it comes to shed hunting, in my opinion, only my perspective, the smaller the shed,
Harder to find.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the bigger the
A
experience.
reward. Yeah, it's a reward.
Exactly.
Like a matching spike set is incredible.
That's what I mean. Who's finding that? And who's talking about it, too,
Yeah.
on top
Yeah.
of that, you know? I mean, don't get me wrong. I love huge sheds.
right, a 7-inch side would be nice.
Yeah,
but
right. But to find, like, a little button buck shed, that's fucking sick. That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
So your dad got you into it, and then you, all of a sudden, bringing your boy into it, now you're a board member.
Yeah, and so basically, just to kind of bring a little bit of information about the group as well, we've worked alongside with the county, opening up parks and whatnot in Westchester County. We've helped extend the season because in the past, New York and Westchester opened November 1st. And so that's kind of why I hunt in Connecticut a lot, because it opens September 15th. But we've helped to expand the season. And we've also fought to get more tags. Back then, you were only allowed one buck tag. And
In New York?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so basically, we fought to help get more tags, open up more lands. Westchester's unique because a lot of the land is private. So we had a problem. A lot of hunters were saying they'd love to hunt. It's just so hard to find a spot.
I can relate. Waterbury's the same.
Okay, so perfect example then.
Yeah, we don't have not one patch of state land in Waterbury, so
That's
it's all
crazy.
private.
Not one?
Not one.
No public lands, no nothing.
Not in Waterbury. No.
Wow.
I always have to travel out if I want to hunt state land.
How far do you have to travel?
Not far. I mean, maybe like 15 minutes.
Okay.
But I mean, I have private property like practically in my backyard,
Yeah.
which that's what put me on the map.
Yep.
It's a beautiful thing. And then being inner city, but that's just, it's all about you. So I want to hear about you.
Yeah, so basically we've fought to open up lands and kind of expand it. Westchester, mostly in the past, had a huge deer problem, and I've had Lyme disease. I've been bit by like 20 ticks, but I actually had the bullseye and everything. Had to take the medicine.
Right.
But Westchester's had a huge problem with Lyme disease, deer accidents. We always say the understory shot. That you can stand in the woods and look across,
See for at least-
hundreds of acres of land, and of feet, and just see nothing, but trees.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the woods at all. So
Heavy deforestation.
Yeah, heavy deforestation. And so, we've kind of worked with the DC, DEP, just to kind of formulate a game plan for the deer management and whatnot. So, that's something that, him having the degree and everything and us being so passionate about it, we thought it would be awesome just to be board members and help kind of form things along the way, but also as well bring it into the 21st century. They never had a Facebook up until a couple years ago. We just started our Instagram and
Awesome.
whatnot. So,
At
just
Weschester
trying
County
to get...
Bowhunters?
Yes. Just trying to get, back into reach out new people, whatnot, and just,
New hunter recruitment.
yeah.
Bring the conservationist numbers back up.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that's really cool. And we're very big advocates of that. And Trev and I really, really strongly believe the key to that window and getting through that door is going to be women. It's
Yeah.
going to be
Love
women.
it. We love it. And
Because women have a special relationship with children, and they'll be able to correlate the teachings to children because they're, in all honesty, they're superior species. They'll be able to teach the kids on how to go about it the proper way. Because us roughnecks, we could be a little hard sometimes.
of course,
And-
rough around the edges.
yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
round around the edges like me, a little pudgy. I got the dad bod, but I mean that's going to be the key, And I strongly encourage anyone out there get your woman out there involved, and children especially, and that's going to be the key to the next generations to come. 21st century is going to be that.
Yeah, and
It's gonna be that.
Kind of speaking to that too is like my girlfriend right now. 3 years ago, I took her on a hike through a nearest reservation, Ward Pound Ridge, and I brought her through the thickest, nasty stuff, and she loved it. And like she's like, "Why are you doing this?" Just because we learn, and that's showing. Is like anybody can do it, and speaking to the women aspect, anybody can do it. Everybody should be able to do it, and that's what we're about.
Awesome.
So
I agree.
yeah.
I agree. That's really cool. Trev, what you got, man? I know you got some questions. No,
Yeah.
you do. I know you got some questions.
I do. I think it's just a great thing that you guys are doing, and especially being the younger generation and so on and so forth.
And represent the East Coast.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
definitely being the East Coast,
Absolutely.
and just showing, and especially Westchester County. I know they shoot fucking giants there, and it's like goes unseen. Now and previously talking to you, you guys said something that kind of like was awesome to hear. What can you hunt with for implements in Westchester County?
Bow only.
Just compound bow.
Bow only.
So it's hardcore only.
Hardcore only.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
it. We
nothing
don't
wrong
want-
with
You know,
that.
and
we don't.
that makes it.
Personally, I can speak for myself and myself only. I hate crossbows unless you are disabled. Of course, there's circumstances which you can get into the woods and get younger kids in the woods or people who can't pull a bow back. But if you're average person, you should be only. If you're healthy and able, you should only be able to use a compound bow. In my mind.
In rebuttal to that, because I agree for the most part, but in rebuttal, I think that's going to be the key to convert rifle hunters, is the crossbow. You want a rifle hunter to start archery, I think that's the perfect implement to get them to convert, because they're going to love that. They're going to feel more intimate with it. It'll bring the range way down. Even with the crossbows today, I mean, you can shoot out to 100 yards accurately, but it'll bring the range way down.
Sure.
And hopefully one day they'll switch to compound, and maybe one day even better, go to trad or recurve.
And I like that aspect of it too. I kind of have that straight and narrow look, and that tunnel vision.
No pun.
No pun, but that's a great aspect of it too. Is like providing that outlet to join archery in a positive outlet.
It's a good conversion outlet.
And and this is one thing that we talk about all the time is that it's and I totally understand your argument, and I mean, I can't say that I agree or
debate.
disagree.
It's not an argument,
Right.
it's a debate.
I can't say that I agree or disagree on it, but the whole thing is that we all as a whole are all hunters. And whatever it is, whether you wear mossy oak or you wear a real tree or whatever, that
Or a red flannel.
whatever you wear, I don't care if you wear Carhartts and work boots, it doesn't really matter.
Or
But the
overalls.
the whole
like
fact,
Trev.
Or nothing.
exactly, yeah. And I think that as a whole, that all of us should fight together. Like as far as like you guys going and fighting, legislative and going to these meetings and doing these things, you need the body of people. And it's one thing that we lose here in Connecticut is that, because I mean I've gone and involved with certain groups, and you go there and the hunters have too much of a fucking debate between one another on who's an asshole, who kills bigger deer, this, that, and the other thing, but they lose the sight of what they're actually fighting for. And they don't show up to these meetings, and they don't do these things, and the body is just not there. And the other side are bussing in fucking people from all over to fight it. And
Why do they have to be fucking people?
well, whatever. It is what it is. And it's just one of those things, like, I get it and I understand it, but on the other token is, like, we all need to just gather together and fight the fight together. Whether you shoot a gun, you shoot a bow, it doesn't really matter. And it's just, I don't know. It's just one of those debates that I agree with you. You shouldn't be able to use a crossbow unless you are disabled or young, or maybe we do it until from the time you're 12 to 16 or something like that, or something. There has to be some type of, but if you're willing and able, you should be able to hunt a bow.
Nice. You guys made it to it. You guys listen. Ninja tip of the day.
Yeah.
Ninja tip of the day. DiQuinzio, what you got?
Oh, ninja tip of the day.
Didn't
say
see that coming, huh?
No. I mean,
You see, he does this shit to me all the time, and I know that it's coming.
I con you guys with the shebeen, get you loose, you're nice and relaxed, and boom.
yeah,
Here's the tip of the
exactly.
day.
But before I actually answer that, I do want to say I agree with that 100%. I think the problem with social media is that you'll post something and you'll be proud of it, and people just kind of try and knock it down. And I think hunters have to
haters.
realize we're all on the same team, and if we stick together as a whole, we're much better off than if we tried to fight with each other. Whether you're a rifle hunter, a crossbow hunter, a bow hunter,
We're
or
all
a
hunters.
traditional hunter, or a huntress, it doesn't matter.
Woman hunter, but
Yes.
we're all hunters. Yeah.
We're all after the same goal.
right.
And I think that's important because we all have to stick together, and we all have to preserve the lands as well, because a lot of Westchester County is being built. And so actually that could be something as well, where a lot of the lands are being knocked down, and before we know it, there's not going to be much that we can enjoy as far as woods go. So I agree with that 100%. We all need to stick together and stop infighting. This deer is, 5 years old. This deer is a half year old or whatever. A deer's a deer. Be happy.
Right.
Amen.
And I think like an area like your guys' Westchester County being archery only is a great thing. And there is those areas that need to be that way, and there's a reason for those things. You know what I'm saying? But on the other token, like we were saying, is just like just pick your fucking battles, and people need to band together, and they need to fight the right fights. And it seems that in the hunting industry they're not.
Amen. Let's try this again.
This time I know it's coming.
Okay. DiQuinzio, ninja tip of the day. What you got, dog?
Oh, man. Ninja tip of the day.
Best advice you could give to the outdoorsman or the bow hunter.
Best advice, practice. That's it.
Awesome.
Whether it's with a bow or just climbing a tree or using new stuff, I would say practice and never stop learning, because every time I go out in the woods, I try to learn something new. So if you go in with that mindset, I think you're already at an advantage over other people. And keep an open mind, because if you have that closed mind, someone tries to teach you something, you might not really understand or be willing to listen to what they are saying. So if you keep an open mind, you practice, I think you'll always learn something and become a better hunter.
Bro, that's solid advice, man.
Yeah.
Solid ninja tip of the day.
Thank you.
Awesome. What you got? Tony,
right,
too.
So I'll speak to something that I'm heavily critically on, and a lot of people I don't know if they take into full consideration to the extent they should. Either scent control and wind. I'm a big believer in watching your wind. My biggest tip, though, is like, say you're hunting or going a little inside of my head. You're hunting in like a river bottom, so you have a big hillside, and the wind's blowing down it. You gotta watch that if it's gonna circle or not. So something I look for is the way that the leaves on like a dry day will circle back up to the hill, because they'll sit, instead of blowing through you, they'll blow black into it, and they'll keep circling back in that bottom. So
that'd be a nice place to sit.
Yeah. So like this year too, I applied that that's where I shot my 2018 buck. Was at a bottom of a river bottom off a big hillside, and I almost got picked because I didn't apply that like I should have. I'm taking my own learning experience from 2018 and letting everybody know about it, because nice. It swirled back into him, and I had a short window where I was able to apply an ethical shot, but having the wind into consideration and watching which way it goes. Something instead of milkweed, Anthony brought up to me this year, is why don't you use a cotton ball? It's a cheap, inexpensive way of using it instead of milkweed. Just throwing a little bit of cotton out and watching that swirl, and you'll see it going back against a hillside, and it might sit there and swirl and sit and spin for a while.
That's a good ninja tip, for sure.
So,
what's your ninja tip?
My ninja tip.
Call them out on a ninja tip.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked, man. My ninja tip for sure is whatever aspect or type of day that you go into, whether it be a wet day, dry day, what have you, crunchy day, on those cold days, I like to always just step on rocks and logs and try to avoid main paths. If I see snow, I'm stepping in snow over leaves. On a really, really cold day and crunchy day, there's no way around it. But to add to that ninja tip, on a crunchy day, don't walk like a human. What I mean by that, don't step 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I actually step as a gallop, and I take my time going in, kind of like a ch-ch, ch-ch, and I take my time going in. So this way, I'm replicating the deer movement.
I agree with that. That's something I use myself, and it's an awesome tip.
It is. It's fail-safe. It'll be non-alarming to the deer herd, and they'll just, if anything, they'll just keep on going about their business, and they won't think anything of it. Trev, ninja tip.
Oh,
Yeah.
I knew it was coming.
I saw you
Around the
thinking.
table.
I'm going to go down the turkey route, considering turkey season is coming. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm definitely going to go turkey route. Fuck, I was thinking of it too. I think as far as like turkey hunting goes, is just pre-scout, roost your birds, find out where they are, where they want to be, and just get in between them and fucking hunt them and have fun. and enjoy it. You know,
That's what it's about.
Well, don't
Have
fuck
fun.
them, then hunt them. Just
here we
fucking
go.
hunt them.
This guy thinking logically. I'm sorry, shitty ninja tip, but
No, that was
No.
good. That was really good,
That was
actually.
good.
Trevor, what you got there?
I got some antlers.
So, guys, you made it to the last segment of the show. What rattles your antlers? Who wants to go first?
I will, because I actually have one.
Oh, let's do it. What rattles your antlers? DiQuinzio.
Steelers.
Steelers.
Not the football
Pittsburgh's-
team.
Oh, I'm about to say, I love Pittsburgh.
No, not the football team.
Okay.
Even though I don't like them. Yeah, just thieves. I have probably had at least 10 trail cameras stolen from me.
You should lock them up with Python locks.
Ooh, shameless plug.
Well, actually,
I haven't never had a camera stolen.
to rebut that, 2 years ago, I had a Python cable around one. Went to go check it, and the tree was actually cut with a saw.
True story.
Yeah. And the camera was gone, everything was gone. But I've had climbers stolen, all for private property. So I would say for me, it's Steelers and thieves. Just, the fact that someone would take someone else's stuff when going back to what you had said, Trev, we're all on the same team.
Yeah.
And especially that they're not allowed to be there.
Yeah.
And I've had cards taken out of my trail cameras. Like, people don't really...
That's
Worse than the
Cards,
whole
really?
camera going.
Yes.
It's worse.
Well, yeah.
Well, I'd rather them take the camera and leave the card.
Right. The homework.
And it could be the anti-hunters also. Especially
It's
where
possible.
you guys are in the Westchester
know
County,
what?
is
I
that the antis.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. Actually, yeah. Wow.
Ah, you're such a genius.
You're actually a good smart fella. I mean, smart fella.
fart smeller. Yeah, I get it. All right. No, but that's a huge thing is antis. They don't only come in and push deer and this, that, and the other thing and stop you and rant and rave. They'll go above and beyond. I mean, I've heard stories of them cutting like the old screw and pegs. They'll half cut them so when you step in them, you'll get like 2-3 steps up and then you catch them in your fucking chin. I've heard of some crazy stories, and it's been antis. And I'm not trying to pinpoint them, but they know 100% that it was an anti, and I wouldn't say that if I didn't know it for myself.
Absolutely. Can I speak?
Yeah.
You have a mic.
No.
You have a mic.
No,
Antlers will
not
go
on this
to any
talk
steps
show.
to make sure that they get their point across. From cowbells I've had to walking around. I've had somebody walk around the preserve while I'm hunting and just slam on a cowbell.
I love
that's
it.
my
Go
son.
ahead, do it.
Yeah,
Please.
so
do
you
me
stir the deer
favor.
up. You push the deer towards me.
Yeah,
so
do me
you're
the
doing the
favor.
complete opposite.
So, Bambache, what rattles your antlers?
What rattles my antlers? To be honest, to be plain and simple,
Speak into that mic. Make love to that. There you go.
I hate guys who poach deer. I can't stand them.
You don't
They
like
are
poachers?
horrible.
Preach it.
That really gets me going because I work so hard 9 months out of the year to make sure that I do everything right for the 3 months of the year and to harvest the deer properly and ethically. And you're over here and you just think it's fair game because it's your own world and your own rules that you can make whenever you want. And it grinds my gears more than ever. Rattle my antlers, as you guys would say. To take deer out of season and to poach them and to take them illegally because you just have an addiction because you can't keep yourself, to the 3 months that you have in Westchester County.
Because they're not real hunters.
Exactly.
And I say this all the time. I could go and shoot the biggest buck in the state. It's not hard. Anybody can shoot them at night with a light.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially if you throw a little bit of corn out or whatever, too, like they do.
Right. But the thing is that a real man can't look at that 150 on the wall and know that they didn't ethically shoot it.
Yeah.
And if they can, then you know what? Props to them because
They must be a ginger with no soul.
That's I can't do it. And like when I walk by a buck, and my biggest buck is not a big buck, but when I walk past that buck,
You're proud of it.
I fucking know that I
There's a
shot
story
that deer
behind.
and I tricked that deer to do what I wanted it to do, or got in its path, or did what I needed to do. And those poachers, they just don't. And you know what? They're more of a man than me.
Hard-earned bucks. Shout out Whitetail Experience.
Yeah.
Straight up. It's hard-earned bucks. And that's what it is. So, I mean, that's awesome, man. We dropped a lot of knowledge. You guys brought different aspects to the table. We commend you guys on your mission, for sure. The fact that we have youth on as board members, that's going to be the key as well. Because you guys can relate to the old-timers plus the new youth coming in. I strongly encourage you to get women involved because that's what's needed most. Because children, I mean, we could all target children as far as teaching them and showing them the way. So this way we get them off off the electronics and video games and really into the woods. So I really want to do. Actually, Trev, it sounds like you have something to say.
Yeah, and I mean, getting children into the sport is one thing, and it's normally children like me and yourself that Anthony won that were born and raised into it. But it's going above and beyond and getting the children or women or even adults that don't have that opportunity. Those are the ones that we want to target because
opening doors.
Those are opening up even more doors.
So, it's crazy that Weschester County is only a 45-minute drive from New York City. So there's even in the city, who don't even think it's possible, and somehow this podcast lands on their ears some way. Somehow contact us because we want to know that we're there for you. As Weschester County Bowhunters.
That's awesome.
Word.
We're so close. Like you can try it. You want to try something different? It is not, sometimes it's not the prettiest sport, but it's part of life.
And that's where we all started from, our forefathers. So
I was going to say round of positivity, and you kicked it off right. So, Bambache, thank you for that first round of positivity. Let's go to DiQuinzio. What you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go off of that and say teaching a new hunter, as you guys had said you were going to do for Moose Man, it takes a lot of patience. And I look back, on my dad, and sometimes I say to myself, I don't know how he did it. How he was able to sacrifice his November, his, September, October, November, December, in order for me to shoot a deer. That in itself, I think, is a huge sacrifice. Taking the time to teach a new hunter, and I think a lot of times it's taboo for a hunter to want to teach someone because we're so secret about where we hunt, what deer we have. How we do what we do. We don't really want to teach a new person. So I think just breaking that mold in ourselves and being open about what we do and where we do it in a way, and to teach someone to take that time because, if you're a working person, you don't have a lot of time to begin with during hunting season. So to sacrifice a weekend or a Saturday or Sunday to take a new person, knowing a lot of times they're going to have a huge learning curve that you already went through 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever. It's a big sacrifice, but I think in the end, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Amen. Trev, what you got?
Positive, I think that, just growing the United Bow Team and, you guys reaching out to us and podcasting with us and the things that you guys are doing, I think it's just a huge positivity. And you guys are definitely going to grow in the industry, and I hope that it works out in your guys' favor and that we can build a better relationship in the future.
Yeah, I can't thank you guys enough for, shedding the light on us and, allowing us to be here today and, taking the first stride to letting us know to the public and, in this podcast world that you guys are, dominating right now. And
you guys are doing an awesome job.
Yeah,
Thanks,
man.
Appreciate that. And I have to shift the credit to Working Class Bowhunter, too. I mean, Kurt Geyer and his whole crew, Eric Common, and even Stevie Moe and Dougie Schmidt.
Somewhat.
Yeah, somewhat with Stevie Moe. I mean, we're a product of them. They helped us out along the way, so I have to give credit where it's well-deserved. What I bring positive is that we're working class for your ass, and at the same token, we're blue-collar conservationists trying to build. And that's what it's all about, man.
Yep.
So I'm going to test you guys' knowledge of the podcast and see if you guys are real listeners. On that positive note, stay stepping.
Stay slaying.